Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Set. I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are back here with you. It is F1 75 car launch day live.
The
There's a lot
first
of
live
names.
event they've ever had together.
Yeah.
Apparently, from what they say, I guess that would be true. I'm not gonna fact check them.
Oh yeah, we're not going to argue with them
that time.
over this. So yeah, it was a few hours ago in London at the O2 Arena. All 20 drivers, team principals, all the car liveries.
Yes,
not the 2025 cars.
Teams too, even
Yeah.
people from their factories.
Yeah, we had F1 Academy people there, celebrities, just Martin Brundle, anybody really in the F1 community was there.
Yeah, and even general public.
Yeah. I mean,
spend your money how you like.
Yeah. We both kind of talked about it because we both watched it. The crowd, it's almost as if they gave those tickets away for free because the crowd didn't seem so into it.
No, I mean, you had like ruckus noise.
Yeah.
However you looked at it.
Yeah. And it was when they said Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, which there was boos, but like you kind of didn't hear them, but
there were some people cheering. I mean, there were Max fans. There were some people cheering. So was Lando.
Yeah.
Christian was
a boo.
Yeah. It's like some people didn't want to. It was like some people didn't want to cheer for him, and then the rest were boos.
Yeah, and I feel like the crowd of people that maybe got tickets almost. It sounded like they didn't really know what they were doing there.
Well, it was hyped up to initially as this is the launch event. And then we get to like a week ago, this is what they're going to look like. So you spent hundreds of leading up to it. So we know what the actual car looks like.
What the actual car looks like.
Like the mechanics of it are going to look like, and if they've changed some parts of it. And then you had Haas who went out in full livery. I guess because they didn't want to do the ruin the event. Like, we don't have that kind of money. We're not doing that.
We're still trying to get money back.
And they revealed their suits, which could have been part of the event. Like you could have just left it.
Yeah.
You had like 3 days.
It was honestly weird. But
I get the Williams one. I get it was that car one kind of.
Yeah.
But everybody else could have just waited. It could have just waited.
Yeah.
I think they didn't really want to be a part of this, and they just had to.
No. Yeah, I think it was F1 FIA was like, we're doing this. You guys have to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it started off, I think earlier this week, we found out that Jack Whitehall, hilarious comedian, was going to be hosting. And he was hilarious from the moment he opened his mouth.
He was spoiler alert, the best part of the show for me.
Yeah, I would say even when he kind of passed it off to people and then came back, he's funny though. That's the thing is he knows his crowd. He knows what to talk about, what
he knows what everybody else is thinking too.
Right.
Yeah. Very pointed jokes.
Yeah, and he is also a fan, so I think that also helps in this situation. So yeah, I thought he was like high points. I thought he was great. I thought Laura Winter's outfit was amazing.
And
Kevin's like, yeah.
Whatever. I like Laura Winters. I think she's great. I wasn't paying attention to what she was wearing, but I thought she was great in everything that she had done.
Yeah. No, it was good. FIA logo just came up.
They spoke about the FIA.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the
not
loudest
alcohol.
boos. No, kind of giggled like she was like an awkward giggle. Like she was
yeah. And Gordon Ramsay was asked about it, which obviously pointed person to ask about swearing.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And like when shit hits the fan, he says.
Yeah.
Which everybody loved. We saw a couple of smiles from drivers, kind of like he's sticking up for us. But
yeah.
Yeah. That was funny. whatever. The FIA, they could just not even mention them at all. Who cares about them? Because this is just going to be another reason they do to me, see what they say about me.
You guys make fun of me.
I'm the butt of their jokes. Yeah.
And it's the British media because it's going to be in, it's in England. It's, you know, anyways. So,
Well, sorry, fine? Yes, fine.
It's a fine.
Our first fine in the guy, I don't remember what it is.
Yeah,
for
and
first offense, 2,000 pounds, sorry.
And for him, it was, and I think he also corrected it after the fact too, saying, I wasn't saying like my team, I just was saying like we messed up. Like and so he very quickly had to make a comment, but he's been fined.
He's been fined, and now he's where he could face or any one of those new. I wonder now that if he's been. I don't know. No, you caused this.
Absolutely. They're going to be, I guess, because now they can, in this scenario, they know who it was. Yeah. And they can, well, F1 hasn't started. F2 hasn't started. F3 hasn't. So they can pin it on one person.
F1
yeah. Good point.
I doubt it. But today, as part of.
Which he said.
That's not a swear.
In the show as well. He said in Drive to Survive last year. Yeah. So I mean, it depends.
I'm willing to say is a swear. I don't know what the range. There's nothing. There's a lot of undefined things.
No.
So
and like you said, what constitutes a swear word? Are we going? Oh, damn. I mean, some people could consider that.
But if
true.
Right.
So we got to go.
You know, do they think that?
Which they are.
Is that part?
Yeah, it depends on whose moral code we're going by, and yeah. Anyways, so getting into the cart while we're here, because we could talk about this.
We went back on a rant. I don't know where.
Yeah.
I just can't myself.
Yeah. So the car launch was done in reverse order, basically, of how the grid finished last year. So starting at the bottom. Stake F1, they finished at the back of the grid. So they were the first team to reveal their 2025 livery. And I liked it.
You know what? Bring it out. Do they do the same thing?
Yeah.
And Stake came out with a banger.
Yeah.
It was probably the longest one. I think Stake thought like, hey, we're going to be at the back. This is all the time we're going to get. Nobody's going to interview us or anything like this. It's just going to be, we're going to take as much time as possible. And it was like epic.
Yeah. I mean, they had these drummers that were wearing neon, or they were wearing black, but then kind of piped in neon.
Sticks. Yeah.
Yeah. The drums were kind of outlined in neon.
Yeah. It was like a drum line. Yeah.
Yeah. Their visual presentation, other than the drummers, was really cool.
They had the car on like a night track almost, and like the green was kind of trailing behind them. And
yeah. They did a really good job. Like it was like, oh, what's this car gonna look like? The car comes out, it's green and black, which we knew.
It's different from last year,
but it's different.
It's decidedly different than last year,
and I like it.
I did.
I like the green that they changed. It's a slight change.
Fade back into
into black
there. Yeah. It's and the suits are actually nice too. Yeah. I mean, it looked fast when they first came out too. It's like it's kind of menacing.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it looks great this year, and I'm excited for Hulk. Got a lot of cheers when he came out. When his name came up on that screen. Yeah.
So I think I think the car looks good. I'm not going to say where I rank it, but I thought the car looked good. Yeah. But I thought Stake did to open the show as well, because that's the thing is they were essentially, I mean, there was Machine Gun Kelly, but they essentially opened the show.
Machine Gun Kelly
already has.
That came out of nowhere. We had tacos tonight, so there was like a sorry.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so they opened the show. They had this really cool drum line. Their presentation was good. The video playing. The drivers came out. Bortoletto looked like he was a deer in headlights. Yeah. But, I mean, I think...
It was really cool. Yeah. A lot of lights. I didn't realize the stage or or whatever they set up anyways.
Yeah.
They had the mechanical rides. And I thought that I thought it was really...
No.
I thought.
No.
I think there were a couple others that went up and down. Yeah. But nothing really caught my eye.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was Stake. followed by Williams.
Followed by Williams.
I thought their video intro was fantastic. Old videos of Williams being on top of the podium, and not just second or third, like winning and raising the trophies, and they kind of went through all of them. You saw the Williams kind of family.
Like a return to form kind of what their message is, basically.
yeah, pretty much. And then they come out with, the car comes out first, I think.
The car comes out.
Yeah, which is two-tone blue, which we knew.
It is more blue. And we saw that kind of thing. I'm wondering how much of this is actual.
Yeah, when they test, when they start testing in a couple of days, and they're like, car's too heavy.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to cut out a third of this paint.
But one thing that caught me was James Vowles he is a salesman at heart. Like 100%. When he came out, he was like,
I thought it was going to be dull, droll, which Jack made that joke. Like, if you want that party, James is having espressos, but they're decaf. So whoever wants to go to a freak off at James's place.
Like, it was just, but like, he came out, like, he was about to announce the new iPhone. Like, he was ready.
And everybody got changed to like their suits, and James came out in his typical button-up white shirt, Williams shirt. Like his blue running shoes. I'm like, did he wear those the whole time, or did he just pack his shoes as well? That's what I was more intrigued when he walked out. I was focused on these bright blue shoes.
Yeah. The white racing suit I do love for Williams.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned Carlos's helmet, which I saw.
I'd seen it a couple days ago. Yeah. So they had revealed it a couple days ago. They'd revealed both of them. Alex is really nice too. But Carlos, something about the bottom there, it really pops. It looks really good. It makes him look fast. It does. The way they designed it.
Yeah. And when he was kind of holding it against his white suit, like you said, it just popped.
It's stark.
So the colors, and I think the color, this is going to sound weird, the color white that they're using on the suit, it's just like a good stark white.
It's a pure,
and then the
like
blue,
a pure white,
and then the blue that they have on their suit. I think they've done a really good job with their coloring. Again, like you said, we'll see how long it lasts in terms of the car. But I mean, it's Williams. We were expecting blue. I mean,
not a lot. Yeah, it's
for sure. And I think the two-tone that they're using, they've got the right colors this year. Yeah. So. Yeah. Who did we have next?
We had below them.
Yeah.
So we had the V car come out, which was like they're introducing some guy. I'm assuming, or
he's a YouTuber. Yeah.
Is he? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He has that content creator influencer vibe. Yeah, like there was a lot of poke and fun, which was fine. Yeah. Like they poked fun a lot about Yuki's size in the video and when they were on stage.
Yeah,
like calling short and sweet. That when Yuki spoke, he said that.
Yeah. No, and I know they're the B team, and they just want to have fun and whatever. But it didn't. To me, it didn't land. And like they kept saying, "Do you know the name of this team? Do you know what they're called?" And it just seemed very awkward. And then when they ended up coming out with the car and the team, first of all, they had too many people on the stage. Yeah. But they also they were now interviewed by the guy that did and I can't remember his name. But the YouTuber in the video, it wasn't even one of the F1 people. Like it was just
it was him
really
because
weird.
They paid for him. That was it.
Yeah. But I mean, the car.
On the flip side, car is a throwback as you're driving by. So I thought that was really.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to come out with a white car. No. I figured there would be white on it, but I didn't think it would be the majority color.
And
I think it looks good.
They are
Yeah. And I think it looks awesome. Again, looks fast. But we'll see if it actually is. But yeah, I just thought their whole vibe was a little awkward, and a bit of a spoiler alert, it kind of flows into the A team as well. But we'll get there.
Which is a shame because they could have easily taken the event.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't.
I agree.
Actually had a that man on the street kind of vibe, and the everyman, and
you could tell who paid the bills.
Yeah, exactly.
With his Red Bull. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
See, at this point, no, we have a
Kane Brown, who I don't mind. Kane Brown, country singer.
Well, no, and it's nothing about him or his music.
Yeah.
We had 3 great cars.
Plus a car.
Plus a car. It was playing a song that obviously had guitar, drums, bass, maybe some keyboard or whatever. Bring your band out. Like, have some interaction. It was probably also so far away from him.
Yeah.
Because you got all the tables.
Yeah, so even when he would say, like, let me hear it from this side, you couldn't hear anything because there was no mics wherever the crowd was. And
he looked like a lost child.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of, like, the stage didn't have any sort of, like, visual effects on it or anything. It almost looked like it was a rehearsal. Yeah. Like, they were just rehearsing, sound check. So I was like, this is really weird. Like, and when I saw the lineup of performers and I saw Kane Brown, I was like, random. And then the performance, I was like, oh, weird.
And the camera work was also terrible because they did a lot of those wide shots where you just see him kind of by himself on the stage. Like, at least Machine Gun Kelly, I hated the performance.
And with Kane, it was like you said, the wide shots, and he looked this big.
Yeah,
on the massive stage.
They go wide, and you're like, where is he? Oh, there he is. He's on that side.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can't find him.
So nothing against him. It was just like, it would have been a good performance. I just think it was just a real, like, should have done something else.
And it's a popular song. Like, Jonathan was singing it in the background. Right?
Yeah.
It just fell flat.
Yeah, totally. But then we cut to the video. Now it's Haas. Yeah. And I was like, and the video is Kane Brown. Yeah. And he is talking about the one and only American team, the 10-year history. And I was like,
trying to get it in now before Cadillac gets in there.
Yeah. And then it was like, okay, that's the correlation.
Yeah.
But it just
Texas, country.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was interesting to see him talk about the history of a lot of teams touched on this, like the history of their team. It's 75 years of Formula One. So 10-year history of Haas, what they've gone through, where they've come, and that they're not just where they are, they're increasing, which they have this past year. So there was that, and then we got the car,
which we saw yesterday,
white,
or
black,
2 days ago.
white, black, and more red.
There's more black. I think they basically probably just inverted the white and black or something.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the side pods were white, weren't they, with the red writing?
So I think there's a little bit more red than they typically had. I think red used to be just like lining, where there's more, like you said, the front wing, the rear wing, I think is red on this one as well. But just Haas. And then we had, who is that? Ocon and Behrman, which tallest team on the grid. First of all, they looked
by far
massive.
Yeah,
they looked huge.
Yeah, by far.
Which is funny because, like, right before that, you have the shortest team. So you have Yuki and Hadjar, and then you have those two. So
which we didn't touch on. Yeah. But it matches absolutely nothing in the car. You still could have kept the green out of there.
Yeah.
But
didn't need to.
But otherwise, I do like them.
Yeah.
And then the Haas suits, again, they're
all black.
They look with the touch on until you see whose faces are on it. You got a baby face, then you got Ocon. Not so menacing.
Yeah. Not so. But it was home crowd for Behrman. He looked happy. He looked comfortable. I think of the rookies that had come out to that point, which was Hadjar, Bortoleto, and that's it. At that point, he looked comfortable.
And he looks, but again, spoiler alert, he looks the most comfortable even after,
out of all of them. Then we go into Alpine, which annoyed. Yeah. It was over it at that point.
Because and they have a DJ there, and he's DJing, and then he's DJing, and then he DJs. And that stupid ass haircut of his.
And he's just sitting there.
But he's in their mouth. This is my company.
Yeah.
Like, this is who I'm running. Like, this is what the fuck is this?
Well, I don't know if you caught it, but I wouldn't say Jack Black. Jack Whitehall after said that that DJ, which I think his name is We Are Dreaming, he actually created the Formula One theme song.
Which is fantastic.
Which is great. So what was that?
But it also played
True.
2 minutes.
True.
I mean, he would have been fine if they played for his 2 minutes, that screen. But it was the screen was down.
Yeah.
It made absolutely no sense. And I even said to you, I'm like, Jackie Stewart is sitting there just regretting the fact that he's...
Yeah. Honestly, it was long and annoying, and then... Yeah, just not interesting. Sorry.
Worst reveal.
Yeah, I would say.
To me.
To then be...
Like, of that point.
Yeah. To then be an even worse car reveal by bringing back the Hubba Bubba Pepto-Bismol Pink.
I will... Okay.
Okay, so you like it.
I don't... Yeah. I do like the metallic blue.
Nice.
And I do like the...
It's a gender reveal car because it's blue.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What's getting out of the cockpit there?
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
But I'm torn.
I thought
parts that I really enjoy.
So last year they toned down the pink. I mean, years ago they had the BWT Pepto-Bismol. The entire thing was pink.
Last year, if you remember.
Yes, which they should have done it this time.
They should have. I think they learned a lesson. Like, we're not going to tease anything this time. But
yeah, but the pink to me is just too pink. It's giving Pepto-Bismol. But the color combination, the colors go great together. But again, when you're looking at your rear view, all you're going to see is the pink. So I don't know.
I think they could have done a little more, like, because it's from the halo basically to the nose. It's all pink. They could have done something similar to what. But you know.
But yeah, overall anticlimactic, because they came out and then it was like, okay, here's our car. Bye.
Oh, hey Pierre, you shaved your head. Yeah, I did.
That was it.
I remember I wrote on wheels or something.
Yeah.
And there's a little.
Yeah. I mean, it just nothing to it.
No.
Speaking of nothing to it, Aston Martin. Well, no. Let me.
Starts off
from that.
Great.
Amazing.
Starts off fantastic, and then goes to awkward, and then I could forget about it.
Weird. Yeah. So it starts off with like this cool 007.
Which was the montage was really cool.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's this going?" And then it was like 007.
They're in speedboats on the Thames, I guess.
Yeah,
and they're in their helmets in these speedboats, and I think I said to you,
yeah.
But they're there, and then they get into this whatever situation.
Helicopter, yeah, and then they like took a few steps down, and like high-fived people.
They didn't want to do it, and nobody knew what was going on. Like, they're just like, "Oh, no, okay."
Yeah. And then arena goes black, and then they have Thames, the singer, comes out, and there's violins, and everything slows down.
And she slowly walks out.
Yes.
And great singing, great voice.
Yeah.
Great background music and stuff. Yeah.
No.
There's always been some big song, and I think it's
probably
not the time. This is not a 2-hour movie where we can set a scene here.
Yeah.
We want the crowd to keep going.
No, it was like they were trying to do like a Skyfall moment.
Yes.
And if you were gonna do the Skyfall moment, pay the extra money and get Adele.
to do. And I get it.
Yeah.
But
it didn't quite land, and the intro was so fast paced and cool, and missiles and speedboats and whatever, and then you're gonna bring out this Formula One car, and then you just like calm down and put everybody to sleep for a second.
You calm.
Yeah.
Which other man meme? It's the Spider-Man meme where Spider-Man's like, "I'm Spider-Man." No, I'm Spider-Man. They're looking at each other.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same. Like, you buy it over.
Well, and I mean, they spent a lot of money on
spent a lot
Newey.
Of money.
So, so they spent a lot of money on Newey, so they couldn't
try to
too much
scrape
of the car.
off as much paint as you can, and we'll just paste it back on.
Yeah. Then they kind of asked Lance what he thought of the car, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a car. It's nice." Yes. Pardon?
I wasn't. Yeah, I think somebody had to poke him. Like,
yeah. And then Alonso, kind of the most lively driver so far of the night, kind of saying, "Yeah, you know what? Since we've revealed the best car of the night, we can all go home." Funny, haha. Since it's the exact same car as last year. But
the best Alonso part was where he said talking about Ryan
and time,
and it took him a second to figure it out. He's like, "What? Oh yeah, what did he say?"
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. So, I mean, Aston Martin was Aston Martin, and then we kind of get. So, I mean, even with Aston Martin, we have the top 5. So, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren. We know that those brands in general have standard colors. So, we're not expecting so much of a change going forward. But, here we've got a little bit of change. We think there's going to be a little bit going on. So, Aston Martin, no change. Mercedes, their intro didn't speak to me, wasn't that memorable, but
I mean, they were just, again, which was great, and we'll talk about another one, the same thing, another couple, but
it was just okay. Like, my notes were, it was okay. But then we get their car.
And I wasn't expecting much. I was expecting just a carbon copy of last year's.
Yeah, and
we got half a carbon copy of
half a carbon copy. No pun intended with the carbon copy.
Yeah.
But it's kind of blacked out, which is really cool, with the arrows at the back.
The way they had, and then you kind of really see the detail. Like, they went to the front, and then it was just silver. So I thought it was going to do they were going to do that. But then you see it kind of just throughout the whole car.
Yeah.
Which is, and they did it, it almost looks like map.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if you saw the arrows, the silver arrows at the on the back there.
I'm looking at it
I thought that was really nice. I wish the nose was more of that same, that what they've got going on the side pods.
Flare.
Yeah, the nose is just silver, and it's the silver nose from last year.
Well, that's the thing. I think they took right from the nose to the back, and that's what's going to make that fade.
Which I know it's not the mechanics.
They changed the tire, and I know slow as shit. Like, I didn't need to see a slow fake pit stop. Like, it looked out of place.
It was so weird, and we know it's not the the mechanics. So it was so bizarre.
Yeah, it could have found something else. It made no sense to me.
No, and then the car came up, and then it like spun.
That was the other really effective use of that platform that I really liked.
Yeah,
was Mercedes.
Good. Yeah, it was good. It was all right. B+.
Well,
A-. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. No, we're ranking the liveries after. Yeah. Okay. I give it probably like a B-. Yeah.
I would just say it was typical Mercedes. It was clean, or it is clean. It's crisp. It's a good looking car.
We're not going to go too far out of our box here.
Right. Yeah. So next we have Red Bull.
And so
interesting.
So depending on which, I guess, makes sense for their liveries.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Exactly the same.
But it gets worse.
Yeah. Well, so their intro video, before they go into their actual intro video, so they do an intro video. It's essentially a tribute to Max. Yeah. Before Christian comes up, there's a video that goes on the screen. It's all the championships they're talking about. There's the Christian radio to Max. Congratulations on your 4th. Max's symbol of M4.
I might have been yelling at my children at that point.
Yeah, so there's that. It starts with the Rolling Stones. You didn't hear that?
I heard the Rolling Stones. I didn't. For some reason, I missed that bit of video.
It was like a video at the back. It wasn't on the top screen. It was on the back
for a
screen.
driver's championship.
Yeah. Okay. Basically a tribute to him, and then they say, welcome team boss Christian Horner, and he walks up onto the stage and is immediately booed. And and
visibly jarred.
Yeah, it messes him up.
Like he thought he was going to come out. I think he expected a lot more than you thought, and then he was just like, he's like, all right, and then it's like he didn't realize.
No, and it kept going, and like he would say something, and people would boo, and like people would cheering to drown out the boos, but it was like whatever. And so then he introduced their actual intro video, which was
he had to explain to us that it was the Stones that were playing. I mean, he explained that they know.
they know. Which I thought they were like, that was kind of going to be their video. But so then they have this weird video and he says, this is a tribute to, you know, weekend warrior, weekend drivers. If you want to tinker in your garage, if you're a former racer, whatever.
Just people who love the sport and
just love
racing
cars.
In general.
Yeah. And then it cuts to this very weird Fast and the Furious
so
vibe.
It starts with them like and then you see the but anyways, sponsorships. So they had to say friends who start dealing the truck. You know, and up Ford, I guess.
I don't know. It was just weird.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
Like, honestly, it made me think of what I think it must be it must be the first Fast and the Furious where they do the drag racing.
Yeah.
And like those car meetups, it was like that, but just times different groups.
And then like
then they go to like a skate park. It was just weird.
Yeah, it was just didn't like it. And then they come out like they're all together. So they all come together like Max is like they just it's probably the worst. Yeah, it's the worst video. It is the worst video. It's worse than the V-Car one.
Yeah.
This one I was prepared.
Yeah. We're now like an hour and a half into this. So we're like, okay, what's happening? Yeah.
This whole show could have been done in an hour and a half.
Exactly. And then for it to come out to be the exact same car and the exact same racing suits. Yeah.
That wasn't even the worst part. Yeah. And then they get to
it was like
I almost thought that like, Stake took two interviews. They didn't interview Christian, Max. No. They didn't even look at them. No. They got to their point and it was over right to Jack.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't know what happened. They're in trouble. I think they're just scared of what Max is going to say. So they're like, don't interview us. Don't interview us. We want him to at least be able to race in Melbourne.
Or Max said, I don't want to be here. Get that fucking thing right in my face.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So then we go into, I mean, I posted it on our Instagram, basically our top two. Our teams.
Well, we start. Yes. We get into a nice tribute, very short, but nice tribute to Enzo Ferrari.
Yes, which I thought was a really nice. You could hear him talking about how he treats his racing cars he looks at his racing cars as a son. Yeah. You know, lots of videos of him, which is really nice that they did that again. 75 years of Formula One, the only team. Yeah, to be there from the very beginning. So I think that was needed.
Deserved,
yeah. So it starts with that, and then I think their intro is really cool. It's showing evolution of their cars. And they have 7 words that pop up. I wasn't paying attention to all of them, but the one that the 7 keywords. Yeah. But the one that I caught at the end, which I thought was going to be their theme because of, the evolution, was innovation.
Yeah.
Was the last one that they had, which totally makes sense. They're innovating their car from,
the very first time. 99% of it.
Yeah. So
which I'm looking at it now. On the back wing it says 44. On the front it says 16.
It says 16. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just making sure. Because I caught my eye, I'm like, oh, that's
shitty. We get the car. It's slightly a darker red.
Which we had known before.
Yeah.
Because we had seen the suits already.
Yeah. The huge HP sash, I guess you would call it, like on the back.
Yes. Right by the wing there and the...
Yeah.
I always forget what that... all the time.
And then we've got the horrendous white rear wing and the white front wing.
I love the way they started. It starts off with,
the sketches.
Animated. It's all animated, but like the sketches, the anticipation to...
Yeah. I really liked the video. I think I liked the Williams one. I mean, maybe because they're, all sitting where they are now. It's nice to see the reminder of where Williams was and hopefully gets back to one day, and, the real life people that were on top of those podiums. But yeah, and we're talking about Ferrari. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool video. Like you said, the sketches, the way that they set it up, and again, just classic Ferrari. Yeah. Like they know how to put together something.
Yes and no. The car reveal. We've talked about this before. They have fallen flat when all they did was change the wings. And then yes, I don't mind that.
Yeah, on the actual car, not the wings.
Yes, on the actual car. The wings, I think, is absolutely horrendous. It takes away from the car so much. It could be red, and you can still have HP on it.
HP,
or make them black, like you have Pop. They're black, and they have 8.
Honestly.
8. Excuse me.
Plus their race suits.
No, and
then they have one on the front and the back of the race suit.
Yes, on the red, everything, and now it's blue.
Yeah.
You want it iconic, but you're selling your soul into America. Honestly, but they don't need to be. Yeah, that blue is going to come through.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Anyways, so that kind of just
a little bit. And then we have the finale, the grand finale, which was another. It was, I would say, similar to Ferrari. The cars through the years, they kind of showed a little bit. They almost looked like Lego cartoon cars on track in their video, but it was still showing the evolution of their cars, the different colors they've had over the years, the different eras. Yeah. They kind of kept showing a couple Senna ones, which obviously they're going to do. Why not? And just racing in general, I thought was really good with their video, but again, similar to Ferrari, similar to Williams.
Yeah, looking back at their history and their success.
Yeah. The one thing, and I think because they are the champions, they had multiple cars on the stage.
Well, I think that was part of their,
which was really cool.
They actually brought championship cars, so they brought out.
Yes, which was, I don't know. We need to show the trophy again, but I'm sure. But yeah, I thought it was nice to see the old cars, and then again continuing with their storyline that they had was, showing the evolution of their car. Then they kind of talk about, this is what we're going to do, and we wanted to pay tribute to winning the championship, so we kept the car the same. And they unveiled the car, and it was the exact same car.
So and Lando had basically the same.
Which, and what I also heard, I don't know if I heard it on the show today or if I heard it after, is that they their black last year was paint, this year it's carbon fiber. So
also they went the reverse of the rest of everybody today.
Yes.
Here, where they've added less paint or taken away paint.
They've taken away paint, and which is obviously going to help your time. Well, if you just have carbon fiber and no paint.
You're only allowed if some of the black that they had, they just strategically placed wherever they're having that carbon fiber.
Yeah. So
regardless, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, it's the exact same car. They said, and they were honest with it. I mean, they were like, we didn't change anything. It's literally the car from last year.
Jack White from last year.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the reveals.
That's it. That's the reveals. And we are quickly going to run through our top.
Want to go bottom
our
to top?
Favorite. Okay. We
could bottom to top.
We could go favorites. So we're going worst to best.
Yeah,
liveries.
Our worst. Yeah.
Ooh. Liveries, and I mean we're probably going to be very similar.
Probably. I think we're the same.
Okay. So you want to go first?
Well, I'll go 3.
Okay. Yeah. My bottom 3 is my number 10 spot is Aston Martin. I didn't like the pearl green, whatever, last year. Don't like it this year. Number 9 is Red Bull, because come on. And then my number 8 is Alpine. I don't like the Pepto-Bismol.
I knew you were going to put that in your
bottom. I don't like the Pepto-Bismol. But I don't mind the color combination. But again, the Pepto-Bismol doesn't do it for me. So.
All right.
Really?
You're
going to be shocked. Where am I?
I'm not going to put that far off from last to look in one like where it's like right. Yeah. I don't know what it is. There's something about the blue, and then I'm looking at and then my number.
Okay. I'm kind of similar. So, well, not really.
Except for
I have Haas in number 7.
Mm-hmm.
I like the addition of the red, but still nothing. McLaren, I didn't hate McLaren last year, so I have them in 6th this year. It's kind of annoying that you didn't change anything.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's why they're number 6. And shocker, Ferrari.
Oh.
As 5th. I don't love the white on the wings.
Yeah.
Really bothers me. Like you said, and yes, they changed the red, but it's just.
I struggled not putting them lower.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. It was between them and McLaren. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Ferrari's in 5th for me.
So, I I don't mind that. I actually think that's a nice improvement.
It's a stripe, whatever, sash, whatever.
Yeah, I do like that. I like that would put them probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Too much of the same.
Yeah.
But I do like when you look at it sideways. I do really love that fade.
Yeah.
My number 2 is going to be Steak. I really like it.
I mean, I think you're going to be shocked with. I mean, you know what I
I'm pretty sure I know. I'm pretty sure what your number 1 is.
But okay. Well, my number 4 is Racing Bulls.
I'm not going to get mad at it. I think it's number 4 is still a great spot to put them in.
I think I agree with you. I like the white. I like the switch up for them. It looks good.
Yeah.
Number 3, I have Williams.
I thought for some reason I thought Williams was going to put number 1.
No, I have Williams as number 3. Again, I like the white. It just looks fresh, clean. Yeah, and
I'm looking at that.
Did I say white? No, they don't have white. They
You're
are
with the white suits.
The suits, yeah. I like the blue, the two-tone blue.
I know what you meant.
That they have going on, and I think, obviously Carlos, I think his helmet is just gonna look really cool sitting in that as well. Number 2, I have Steak.
Interested.
I have Steak as number 2. I really, like you said, I really like the lime green, neon green, whatever we want to call it, with the black, the fade. It just.
If you're eating limes this color, you don't like
them. They're poisonous.
Yeah, they're from Chernobyl.
Oh God. The car looks awesome. I know we said it looked fast last year. It looks faster this year. But
we're gonna sound so stupid when this season starts.
I know. But yeah, I just thought it looked really good. And then I think this is the shocker for me, but I have Mercedes as number 1.
I am surprised you put them that high.
I really don't like the front, and you touched on it. You don't like it on, but from the side, it looks amazing.
It looks, and it was menacing. It was.
Yeah.
It does. It looked like they're all black Mercedes. Was just it was like a threat on track. It was really appealing.
It was kind of what I expected them to do with their 2022 car when Toto did that whole you need to watch your back kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is the car that I would have expected them to do then. They did it now. Maybe it's still the same vibe of Lewis, we're coming for you. But it just from the side, and maybe we'll see a change with it, like you said. But it looked really good, and I just had to. Probably one of their best cars in a while. Liveries, I should say.
That's fair.
in a while. So,
I mean, I don't just
yeah, you could just switch them all around. So, but yeah. All right. Well, that is.
Do you want to do a fresh set and a dirty air for this?
We could
or not. We could. I mean,
we could. I know my fresh set.
Okay.
Okay. I know my fresh set. I know my dirty air too. My fresh set is the amount of screen time that Charles Leclerc got. Listen, it was a man.
I don't know why. I don't know why I'm exasperated at this.
It was a man that kept putting him. Jack Whitehall was the one that was like, "Listen, I've got a crush on you." Too.
When he said, he's
I
the one that I'm.
Yeah.
And
Jack Whitehall. I mean.
Yeah, in that same thing, and you know, he was just like, drop it. Yeah. You know, making fun of everything. Yeah. He's otherwise gonna look like Post Malone getting tattoos for everyone.
Yeah. No, nothing missed.
Nothing missed. Of the whole show.
Yeah. Yeah. My dirty air. It's kind of the whole thing was just. I kind of think the whole thing was a little bit of a miss. I just don't think this is the group of men, the sport that needs this big show. They all hated Vegas, the first year of Vegas, so that should have been the indication that this was probably not going to work. But so again, kind of the whole thing in general, it was cool, but I think it was a miss. But also, this is going to sound very girly of me, more girly than the wanting Charles Leclerc. But it was like there was no dress code. Like,
did you see how Liam showed up?
Yes.
In jeans and a flannel shirt? Yes. I mean, you're showing up in a Ferrari that Max drove. So you just look like he's driving his little brother.
Yes.
Like, dress up, you fucking dummy.
Yeah, and then you have like Charles and Lewis in like tuxedo suits, probably from Ferrari. Like the Ferrari fashion line.
Of course.
And then you have people in jeans, and then the sweats in some people, and Converse, and like it
Lando had a suit without a tie. Like, what is this? Like, just what's?
Jackie Stewart. I mean, Jackie Stewart. You're not going to tell him what to wear, but he was wearing. It looked like he was going to play golf with his like. Well,
he always
plaid.
Looks like going to play golf. He comes in with that hat. It doesn't matter if it's a pit wall or whatever.
Pants. Yeah. It was just. There was no dress code with anybody, which I just thought was weird. So
we won't talk like he wants to literally marry Martin Brundle.
Yeah, honestly.
But had to be there or whatever. They're proper and British or something. I don't know. But it was just like it was maybe.
The crowd I think really made a difference.
Yeah.
In the event. I mean, the prices, it wasn't cheap. So, I mean, people paid, but like, even when there was the performances, nobody was really standing. I mean, I don't know if it was really stand-up music, but like, I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Well,
yeah, it was, yeah. So that was besides yelling at my children.
Yeah. Happens.
Yeah. So that's it, yeah.
That's it.
That was F175, and they...
Yes. So we will be back with some, I guess, preseason...
Yeah, and the next I'm sure there's going to be some news coming out.
We'll be back, and then we are... I don't even know what day it is. We're about a month away from Melbourne, which is our first race. And in the meantime...
will win.
Sure.
Make me some money.
But in the meantime, you can follow us on all social media, which would be Instagram, TikTok, X, which is formerly Twitter, at Fresh Set Podcast, and on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, also at Fresh Set Podcast, and subscribe, all the fun stuff.
Thumbs up, comment, share.
Yeah, all that, and we will be back next week.
Yeah, grab a fresh set.
Bye.